How's it going, guys? This is Lemonzinger, and today I'm going to be showing you my 2025 Rainbow Six Siege settings. We're going to go over a couple of key things. We're going to go over some NVIDIA settings, like your color settings, the NVIDIA app overclocking tool, along with the in-game multiplier, and all of the in-game settings and all the tabs on there. So first things first, we're going to go into our in-game settings. So you're going to go to your file explorer, you're going to go to documents. Once you get to documents, you're going to go to my games, and in that my games tab, you're going to see Rainbow Six Siege. So what you're going to do is you're going to see a file that has a string of numbers. This is going to be your actual game file. And this file is going to be the first time you ever open the game. So whenever you first opened the game on your computer is going to be the date that it was modified. You're going to go ahead and click on this. And you're going to click on gamesettings.ini. So let's go ahead and look at this. Once you're in your gamesettings.ini, you're going to see stuff like display. You're going to see hardware info. This is going to be everything about your computer, display settings. But what we're here for is if you come down to input, you're going to find a string called mouse sensitivity multiplier. So the normal sensitivity multiplier, I believe, is 0.0, or I think it's 0.02 or 0.2. It's one of those ones, but I am currently using the Kickstar multiplier. Rest in peace, Kickstar. But a lot of pros and streamers and stuff use this multiplier currently, so I went ahead and gave it a try, and I actually quite like it. It's very similar to some of the other games that I already play. So that multiplier is going to be 0.002230, and like I said, I'm pretty sure the normal multiplier is 0.2 or 0.02, but yeah, the multiplier that I'm using is 0.002230. So if you do want to change this setting, go to file and just click save before you close this, and then once you close it, it'll be saved. So the next thing we're going to do is we'll go to our NVIDIA app. So if you've upgraded to the new NVIDIA app, it'll look something like this. If you haven't, I'd suggest doing it. This one is a lot better than the other one. Here's my global settings. I'm not going to go over these too much, but if you want to change this to the hard set so that it's to your graphics card, low latency mode, this is the on or on plus boost setting in game. I would just leave this off. And also power management mode, this one definitely put it to prefer maximum performance. We go over to the system tab, go to performance. Here's the performance limiter settings that I run. I also have an MSI afterburner overclock on my RTX 3070, but only have these settings if you have an RTX 3070. If you do not have an RTX 3070, please do not mess with MSI afterburner. You will break some stuff. But if you have an NVIDIA graphics card, these settings you can copy. Leave your temperature target alone, but voltage maximum you can put that at 50, and power maximum you can put that to whatever the highest number to the right is. Alright, so if we go ahead and make our way to the NVIDIA control panel, a lot of people don't know how to get here. So if you right click on the NVIDIA logo in your little drop down here, just go to, instead of the NVIDIA app, or I forget what the other NVIDIA thing was if you haven't upgraded to the NVIDIA app, NVIDIA control panel is what we're going to go on. We're going to click that. Alright, so the only things we're going to change in here, you can change this to best performance or whatever, the image settings with preview, but this doesn't really affect gaming all that much, as I've come to discover. So the setting that we're going to change here is going to be our color enhancements. So this is going to be for all channels. I currently run brightness at 52%, contrast at 55%, and my gamma is at 1. I'm pretty sure this is just what it's at, so don't change your gamma. Digital vibrance I have at 55% as well. And I believe that's it for the NVIDIA control panel settings. Also, I do want to make note of this. If your graphics card can do it, you want to enable resizable bar. And what resizable bar does is lowers input latency. I'm not going to get into key detail on what it does, but if you have the option to turn on resizable bar, just look up a YouTube tutorial on how to do that. And if the options are there for you, please go through the steps to enable it, because it is a lifesaver in those long wait times and stuff for loading into Siege and whatever. And just the transition from waiting on the operator screen to actually loading into the game. All right, so that's all the outside of the actual game. So now we're going to launch the game and we're going to go over all the tabs within Rainbow Six Siege, and I'm going to go over a few of them, but most of them there's no explanation, it's just what you should do. All right, and one more thing before I forgot to mention, if you do not run your game on DX11, I would highly suggest going in, right-clicking on your Rainbow Six Siege, and clicking on Play Rainbow Six Siege in DX11. DX12, which is this one right here, has a lot of problems, a lot of crashing, a lot of stuttering. It's just not an enjoyable experience, so make sure that you're running Rainbow Six Siege in DX11. But okay, so we're going to go ahead and get into the settings. So here's my general. You can go ahead and pause. These are just personal preference, but you can pause and look at all of these. And like I said, these are all just personal preference. Here's my HUD settings. And like I said, pause if you need to. And with the audio tab, the only thing I would tell you to change in the audio tab is in dynamic range. If you do not have night mode enabled, I would suggest turning on night mode. It makes loud sounds like explosions and grenades and just anything extremely loud in the game quieter, just by a little bit, and then it makes quiet sounds like footsteps and people ADSing and un-ADSing a lot louder. So for sound cues and stuff, night mode is definitely the way to go. This is my display tab, so I run 16:10, no VSync, fuck VSync. If you play on with a widescreen letterbox, I don't know what to tell you at that point. Field of view is at 86. I usually jump anywhere between 86 and 88. My HUD display area, menu display area, I run my brightness at 72 in game. So here's the graphics settings. And like I was saying earlier, the NVIDIA Reflex or whatever in the NVIDIA control panel or the NVIDIA app, if you turned that to on, it would turn this on. But I noticed with NVIDIA Reflex Low Latency for my system, it doesn't really give me any boost or anything. So if you have a lower end system, I would suggest on or on plus boost. The descriptions are right here when you hover over it, if you want to pause and read those. So texture quality at medium, texture filtering linear, LOD quality high, shading quality low, shading quality or shadow quality high. And the reason why shadow quality is high is in certain situations, seeing these shadows, like if someone's repelled on a window, you see their shadow cascading over the edges of the window, you can tell that they're actually above the window repelled. Reflection quality low, VFX quality low, makes it a little easier to see through explosions and the debris flying around. Ambient occlusion off, lens effects off, zoom in, depth of field off, super sampling off, all of that off, anti-aliasing off, no adaptive render scale target. Okay, so that's all of that. Now in the controls, these are the controls. I'm not gonna go over much, but I will say for your gadget and drone deployment, please put those on advanced. You will thank me later. It won't pull you out after the prep phase if you're on a drone. And whenever you throw out your drone, instead of immediately putting you into the drone, you actually have to hit your drone deployment or 5 again to actually go into your droning, your phone or whatever. So for my sensitivity, since I am running the Kickstar multiplier, which is the 0.002230, I have my raw input on, so it ignores my Windows settings and uses the Kickstar multiplier. And then for my horizontal and vertical, I'm running 8888. Now with the Kickstar multiplier, this 8888 is more of like an 88 on the normal multiplier. But yeah, so Kickstar multiplier 8888, which with the normal multiplier is around 8 to 10 for both of these. My mouse ADS sensitivity is nothing big, it's just standard, so over all of the different sites it's 54 for everything. And I don't really use a controller. For my, what is it? For my prone, I actually have my prone bound to my mouse button. I have it set to my mouse. That way, when it's on hold, all I have to do, and I can show you in game here, all I have to do in game is whenever I want to do the Hashone peak, which I am a big fan of the Hashone peak, all you have to do is hold down the mouse button. So whenever you're doing the Hashone peak, all you have to do is hold down. But alrighty, so that's all of the control tab. Privacy, you can copy these if you want. There's really nothing there. Sometimes I run appear as you because my Ubisoft name is kind of long, and seeing that in the kill feed sometimes is a little bit annoying. Right now I'm running for my optic color, I'm running it as green. If you want, the best colors in my opinion are going to be green, red, and sometimes yellow. Green and red are statistically the best, but honestly this is just a personal preference thing. Optic opacity, I usually run this around 70 to 80, but usually if I'm using the 1.5, which is now just a 1x, I would run it somewhere around like 30 or 31. So screen shake intensity, I have this completely off. If you know, you know. Motion blur, I have this on. Technically, this isn't even a motion blur. This is more so an effect when you get shot. Instead of, if you have this off, it shows like this weird blood effect, and it actually blurs your screen more than if it were on. If it were on, it just shows like the effect of like being like your vision being pulled back or something. I don't really know how to explain it. Just leave this on. Stun VFX, this is up to personal preference. I use dark glare. These are where you can change your team colors. I just run blue red. Here's my chat preferences, chat scale if you're into that, and I believe that is everything I have to show. Alrighty guys, so if you enjoyed these settings, make sure to leave a like, go ahead and subscribe, and comment down below what settings you run or what you would change or anything else down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you all next time.